I'm here at St Paul's Cathedral, which in the early 18th century was the site of two crucial events that marked, in a sense, the death of an old form of Freemasonry and the birth of a new form that would then go on to conquer the world within the space of 15 years. On the 26th of October 1708, up there in the lantern on top of the dome of St Paul's, a group of men took part in a topping out ceremony that marked the completion of the building of St Paul's Cathedral. They were led by Christopher Wren Jr., the great architect's son. The architect himself waited down below because he was too old to attempt the ascent. All of the men who took part had been crucial to the building of the cathedral, and they were all members of the Exception. The Exception was an early form of Freemasonry closely linked to the absolute elite of the building business in London. The street that runs alongside the great cathedral there, St Paul's Churchyard, was once famous for its taverns and bookshops. It was a real centre of London cultural life. And on that street, once upon a time, there was a pub called the Goose and Gridiron. And we think that the Goose and Gridiron was where, in 1691, Sir Christopher Wren himself was initiated into the Exception, the forerunner of modern Freemasonry. Now, the Goose and Gridiron was also in June 1717, that's just less than 9 years after the topping out ceremony that marked the completion of St Paul's Cathedral. Another group of men, none of them with anything to do with the construction business, met there in that pub to found a grand lodge for Freemasonry, a new governing body for the Masonic world. And in doing so, they set it on the way to worldwide success. Within 15 years, there were Masonic lodges in Europe, in Turkey, in Syria, in the Americas, in India. And the story of what happened between those two moments, the topping out ceremony of St Paul's and the foundation of the Grand Lodge in the Goose and Gridiron, is a story full of extraordinary ingredients. There's imperialism and idealism and sexism and booze and high politics and grubby ambition. And it's the story I tell in one of the chapters of my book, The Craft, how the Freemasons made the modern world.